Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nathan with Sixth Sense Snakes. I'm really glad that you decided to join us again today. We had an eventful week here. There was an episode that I want to share with you. It was kind of funny and a little bit scary in a few moments. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. But before we get to that, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button, the share button, and leave a comment with your favorite memory of a pet growing up. Share with us your favorite childhood memory of a pet. We'd love to hear from you. We're trying to inspire those memories in others, and so it would be great for you to start that conversation by sharing. I remember growing up, it's not my favorite memory, but it's a really strong memory. One day my dog Casey got out and ran around the neighborhood, and I think I ran more blocks of our hometown than I ever ran before or after. And when I finally got back home, she had already been home for quite a while because my mom just went out on the porch with a dog treat. So, I got some exercise at least, but it was a memorable evening. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe, share it with all your friends. We really hope that you get a lot out of it. This week at the Snake Shack, we started some pairings, and one of the snakes that we got in, one of our big, powerful males, we picked him up, and we had noticed when we picked him up that he had had trouble with his last shed. This happens from time to time. If you're not familiar with snakes, they need a high humidity level in their enclosure right before they shed. If they don't have that, they might have a really bad shed, which means that their old skin can get stuck to them in parts, and that can be really irritating, even painful for them. Think about it like a sunburn. When your sunburn starts to peel off, if the parts that get extra stuck, they really agitate you as it rubs up against things, and it starts to hurt after a while. Well, this poor snake had stuck shed pretty much all over his body. And then as we started examining him further, he had really red scales on the back side of his underbelly near his tail. And that's a sign that he may have been burned. And so Cinna had some stuck skin that he had trouble shedding, and we had been working to get it off. The previous breeder had worked to get it off. It's not indicative that he was kept in the wrong enclosure. It just kind of means that it wasn't a good time in his life. And we had another snake recently, Mario, who you've seen on the channel before. He was shedding. We didn't know he was shedding, and so we had to give him a little extra love to help him get out of his skin. Well, anyway, Cinna's been with us for about a month, and he still hadn't gotten all the skin off, even though we'd been continually upping the humidity in his enclosure and working with him. And finally, we decided we're going to give him a special healing bath. This is Heinz that I have with me. Heinz is different than Cinna. Heinz is a banana. Cinna is an asphalt clown. And so Heinz is a little bit different. Heinz shed recently, not too long ago. Heinz is nice and soft and shiny, but you see the underbelly of Heinz where it's all white. That means that she hasn't been burned. Cinna's is red. And so we were going to give Cinna a betadine bath and really let Cinna get a good soak in. And we're just trying to, take as good a care of him as possible. He doesn't seem too agitated. He's easily handleable. He's in with one of our females right now. And so we drew a bath for him, and we went to put him in the tub. And I turned my back while holding his tail to get the lid for the tub. And I've never seen a snake do this before. Granted, I haven't seen everything with snakes. We're still learning a lot every single day with our snakes. But Cinna did what I can only describe as jumping out of the tub. And he jumped out of the tub and he got onto the floor of the bathroom. I reacted quickly. I got him back up with both hands and I put him in the tub, and I tried holding him there, but he had already gotten wet. He's not slippery, but it's harder to hold onto them firmly. So I had a hold on him, I thought. I went to grab the lid again to put it on top. He jumped out again. And the first time he got out, he must have found a hole underneath our cabinets. He must have found a hole underneath our cabinets, and he decided that that looked like a great hole to crawl up inside of and see what was on the other side. By the time I caught up with him, the front half of his body was already over it. I didn't want to traumatize him anymore, so I had the option to either let him go and then try to coax him out, or to injure him as I pulled him out and he was grabbing on with his head and the front end of his body, which hadn't been traumatized by this previous events in his enclosure. And so I let him go, trusting that I could get him out later. Well, that trusting that I could get him out later was first with offering some food on the floor to try and get his food senses activated and seeing if he was hungry. That did not work. It was going very slowly. This was very late at night after a day of meetings. I came home. I was just trying to help the snake shed and get a healing bath. And so what did I have to do? I went and I grabbed a crowbar and a hammer, and I took off the molding from the bottom of the cabinets. Now, thank goodness, I don't know why it was installed this way. I don't know why the hole was there. Thank goodness the hole was just a narrow alley between the wall and the base of the cabinet. And he was back in there. So I was able to reach in with my hands and pull him out. He was fine. In case you're wondering, because you think snakes are terrible, I did not get bit. He did not even bluff at biting me. He let me pick him up. I walked him back. I decided we're going to need a much more secure tub or a different way of treating you if you're going to jump out every time we do it. So we have not attempted that again yet. And we upped the humidity. We've spritzed him a few times. Some more shed has come off. He seems to be feeling okay. I still would like to get him a bath because of the burning on his belly. But that was a very exciting evening, to the point where the other members of our household came into our room and wondered what was happening, because it sounded like we were demolishing the upstairs. And in a sense, we had to demolish very carefully a certain part. Thankfully, it all came off in solid pieces. It's going to be fine and put it back together. But I've included this picture that you've been looking at as the damage done by trying to get Cinna out. That's one of the things that happens with snakes, is they always will find a hole. They'll find a place to be secure. They love tight enclosed spaces. We had no idea that was there. When we put our cabinet back together, we are 100% going to make sure that that hole is not there. And if you're wondering, I have inspected what I believe is every inch of our bathroom now, so that I know where there are and aren't openings. And I think that's the only one. But for that period of time, maybe 45 minutes, we had no idea where he had gone and wondered what was going on until we got that open. So that was quite an eventful evening. Things that happen with snakes and keeping snakes that you don't expect. The other thing that's happened recently is our clutch of snakes, not the ones we've birthed. We hope to have some of those on the way, but the ones that we have that are breeding and pre-breeding age, that continues to grow, and we are on track, we think, to have some really successful groups of snakes produced in the next year. And we are going to look forward to documenting that journey with you as these things happen. We've had a few locks recently. We've had some other snakes come in. We've got some snakes getting cozy pretty much on a daily basis around here. And so if you're interested in following that, let us know that you're interested by going over to Patreon and becoming a member. There's a free tier. You won't have access to everything, but you will have access to some things. And you can see if you like it. You can see if there's a community forming and some conversations happening. And maybe in time you want to consider upping that if it is a worthwhile experience for you. So head on over to Patreon and check that out. Patreon.com/Sixth Sense Snakes. The link is in the description. You can check out our social media. Amanda is posting, Snake Mom is posting regularly on Instagram, Facebook, other places that I don't follow as much as she does, but she's on top of that. You can reach out to us anytime at sixthsensesnakes@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you be a part of our community. Thank you so much for joining me with this video. Again, like, share, subscribe to the channel. When we reach 100 subscribers on this channel, and we're a long way away from that, but when we reach 100 subscribers, we're going to have our first giveaway. When we reach 500, we're going to have another one. But the big giveaway that's going to happen on this channel is when we get to that 3,000 subscriber mark someday. That is going to be a huge day for Sixth Sense Snakes and getting our message out there. So be one of the first 100 subscribers and get ready for that first giveaway. We can't wait for that day to happen, and you can make it possible by subscribing today. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you all. See you next time.